significa desde hace. No, he estudiado inglés desde hace 3 años. O sea, así se dice. Esto que les fascina decir since 3 years ago, que no existe. Esto no existe. Se dice así. ¿Ok? Entonces, lo mismo. Cuando ustedes tienen la palabra both solita, ¿qué significa?
Ambos. Ya sea.
Ambos.
Ambos, sí.
Ambos.
Solito, ¿no? Y cuando tengo la palabra and solita, significa
y.
Entonces, aquí ustedes se sienten muy cómodos si yo le quito esta y la oración se entiende, ¿no?
Sí, perfecta, se ve.
Porque la traducen como y.
Ajá.
Pero cuando están juntitos, están correctos, pero significan otra cosa. El reporte del director es
tanto como.
Exacto. Entonces, sí importa saber qué pasa cuando están juntos. Entonces, ¿está correcta la oración? No hay problema.
Sí, es correcto.
I'm not sure. I think we already have this connector
Esas are correlative.
In the box, the correlatives, no? I think.
Yeah.
In this box, in the correlatives, we already have this. So we have not only, but also, neither, nor, both, and.
Yeah.
Ese both and es tanto como.
Tanto como.
Okay. Well, so let's go back to Shulman. So it's correct. And then number 17, Manuel.
The 17 is a fragment.
Nada más una cosa, no se vale decir the 17.
Okay.
En inglés, el número 17 ya es suficientemente único, no necesito hacerlo más único. Entonces, aunque se sientan muy incómodos, ya nada más dices 17. 17 is lo que sea, lo que me ibas a decir.
17 is a fragment. And I wrote the Art Academy is going to make a change in the requirements next semester.
Semester. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, in this case, it's obvious that what we need is the subject and the auxiliary. Does anybody have a different solution? Well, I suppose everybody has different solutions, but essentially you have a subject plus an auxiliary, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I suppose. Well, so let me stop sharing my screen. Well, last class, if you remember, we started an exercise about relative clauses. You remember?
Yes.
Where we started identifying, underlining, inserting the relative pronoun, drawing an arrow to the noun that it was modified by the adjective clause, and then decided if we needed commas or not. That was tapping on what you already know about relative clauses. Now I am going to use the board and I'm going to give a more systematic explanation or examples of relative clauses. So, well, so can you read?
Yes.
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 Okay. So let's see. I strongly recommend taking notes. I am going to be erasing constantly, and it's not enough to have the recording. So it's better if you have your personal notes. Okay, so what are the common elements? Well, first of all, a relative clause, in real life, they appear together. You create them all the time whenever you need to give additional information or to give definitions of things. It's a natural way to do it. If you remember, in the all this started with the story about the king and the rock. Many of the ideas could be connected very naturally with logical connectors. But there were a couple of ideas where a relative pronoun was a better solution. So, by the way, does anybody know what is the other name for relative clauses?
Adjective clauses.
Adjective clauses. So it's another name. So what is a clause? It's a sentence. An adjective clause is a sentence that functions as an adjective. That is why in the examples, we were drawing an arrow from the relative pronoun to the noun that was modified, because an adjective modifies a noun or an adjective. So what are the common elements in these two sentences?
The American president.
American president. What else? Where does the American
The verb was.
but I need pronouns and nouns here.
Maybe John
What
F.
nouns
Kennedy.
are related? Because we need a relationship.
JFK.
JFK, John F. Kennedy, and what else?
He.
So we need to have common elements, common ideas, so that we can have a relationship to create the relation. Well, so can you imagine a way to connect these two ideas using relative clauses like the examples we were using about Coca-Cola or Saudi Arabia or the other things without commas?
Replace he with who.
Well, give me the sentence.
Okay, JFK was an American president who was assassinated in Dallas in 1963.
Was American President.
Mhm.
You
Who?
take your own notes. Who or what else?
That.
When we don't have commas, I can use for that. So we can use who or that. Now, can you imagine a version where we need commas?
Maybe JFK, who was assassinated in Dallas in 1963, comma between the relative clause, was an American president.
Between or at the beginning and at the end?
At the beginning and at the end.
Because between sounds a little bit weird. So John F. Kennedy.
At the beginning and the
Okay,
end.
but
at the
dictate
end.
me the sentence with the punctuation, please.
John F.
John F.
Kennedy,
Kennedy,
comma,
comma,
who was assassinated in Dallas
was assassinated in Dallas
in 1963, comma, was an American president.
Can anybody imagine another possibility with commas?
JFK, coma.
Ustedes dicen GFK, yo le voy a
No.
poner GFK.
Sorry. Bueno, well, John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy. ¿Y cómo es esa letra? ¿Cómo se llama?
J.
J, not G.
Sorry. Yeah.
John F. Kennedy.
Who was an American
You
president.
dictate me the punctuation,
Coma.
please.
Coma.
Coma. Acuérdense que si me dicen
Coma.
coma,
Coma.
si me dicen coma, es el estado de inconsciencia en el que caen las personas. Esto se escribe así. Coma. Eso sí es coma. Pero lo que yo quiero es una coma. Entonces, es más bien así. Coma. Not co. Dicen co, está en estado de coma. So JF Kennedy, comma,
Who was an American president.
sorry?
Who was an American
Okay,
president.
was an American president,
Coma.
comma,
Was assassinated in Dallas in 1962.
was assassinated in Dallas in 1963. Is it clear to everybody? Hello?
Yes.
yes, teacher.
Let me know when I can erase. Because I need to be erasing constantly. May I erase already or not?
Yeah.
No.
Muy bien. Yes.
In the meantime, I'm going to get more water. May I erase now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what are the common elements here?
Juárez,
Benito Juárez,
him,
him, what else?
Mexican statesman,
Mexican statesman. Okay, so let's try to relate these two sentences without commas.
without,
Yeah, no commas.
Maybe Benito Juarez was a Mexican. I can't read the other word, but that Mussolini's father, admired him.
No.
No.
Estás hablando como los argentinos. Tengo un amigo que lo estimo mucho. El que y el lo, como que ya es demasiado, ¿no?
Without him, no?
We need to replace him, exactly. Mhm. Okay, let's write a parenthesis here. In the previous sentence, the common element was he, and we used
who,
him. Now the common element is him. So what form should we use?
whose,
When you have his, the S, you should use whose, with S.
Whom.
Ah, whom, pues esta misma M la recupero acá, ¿no? He, who, him, whom, his, whose. When it is a masculine, it's very transparent. So, Juarez was a Mexican statesman
Whom was admired by.
Don't use passive voice. If you use passive voice, you don't need to say whom. If you say passive voice, you simply need to say who was admired.
whom Mussolini's father admired,
Pero, ¿con qué pronombre?
whom,
Whom. ¿Qué trabajo les dio, verdad?
it sounded weird, but
Pues sí. Ahora estamos en el curso de gramática avanzada, ¿no? Para revisar cosas que sabemos y sorprendernos con unas que no sabíamos o que no sabíamos bien. So, when we don't have commas, remember, I can use what other word?
And? And?
No. Relative terms. That. When we don't have commas, I can use that. And in this particular case, when we have whom, I can use zero. So I can say, Juarez was a Mexican statesman Mussolini's father admired. Juarez was a Mexican statesman that Mussolini's father admired. Or Juarez was a Mexican statesman whom Mussolini's father admired. The three are possible.
the zero sounds very, very weird.
Yes, I know. But that's the way things are. Now, let's try to produce the version with commas.
Yes. Como wasn't a Mexican.
Benito Juárez, comma, Kuma.
¿Cómo era la coma?
Coma.
Coma. No hagan el diptongo, no es coma, es coma.
With I, comma. Or I get confused.
Así, coma,
Comma. Okay.
coma. Es una schwa, no es coma. Ajá, porque si me dicen el diptongo, es el estado de, está en estado de coma. So, where is coma?
Comma. Who wasn't a Mexican.
Pero ¿por
state.
qué passive voice? ¿Y por qué si lo que yo quiero es reemplazar him?
It's whom.
Who wasn't my.
Pero ¿por qué
Who.
quieren la voz pasiva? Ya tienen aquí la solución.
Mussolini.
Father admired.
Mussolini's father admired. Then,
Comma.
comma,
Was a Mexican statement.
So in this case, this is the only possibility. There are no two versions with comma. Except if you want to change to passive voice, but there is no reason to change it to passive. Well, let me know when I can start my third example.
It's okay.
Ready? Yes.
Okay. What are the common elements?
Mussolini.
Mussolini,
Mussolini
an Italian dictator.
is a dictator,
His.
He's
but his is alone.
Oh, his father.
His father.
But this is a package. This is a package, and I have to keep it as a package. Uh-huh. So give me a sentence without commas.
Mussolini was an Italian dictator whose father admired Juarez.
Are you asking me?
No, whose father admired Juarez.
Uh, is it clear?
Yes.
yes.
In this case, it's impossible to replace those with that. Whose with that? It's impossible. You have to say whose. Now give me the version with commas.
Mussolini, comma, whose father admired Juarez. comma, was an Italian dictator.
Does everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm. So before I erase, so there are two categories of relative clauses, with commas and without commas. I don't know if you know the names. Do you know the names when they have commas and when they don't have commas?
Defining and non-defining.
Mhm. So which ones are the defining ones? Do you remember?
The ones who doesn't have a comma.
The ones who, son personas,
Oh no.
the ones which or that
doesn't have commas.
es plural, the ones that doesn't es singular, ones plural.
Do.
Pero es negativo, me está diciendo.
The one which don't have commas.
The ones which don't have commas. So this is a defining relative clause. And this with the commas is a non-defining. Okay, may I erase number 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now what are the common elements?
Guanajuato.
Guanajuato,
It.
it,
A beautiful colonial city.
beautiful colonial city. So try to give me a new sentence using a relative clause, but without commas. And defining relative clause.
Guanajuato is a beautiful colonial city that is located.
That or
Which?
when we can use in the defining clauses, that is more natural. Also for people.
Is located in central Mexico.
Okay, give me a version with commas.
Guanajuato, comma,
A ver, ¿qué pasa? Coma.
Which is located in central Mexico.
Ajá.
Cama is a beautiful
125
colonial
¿con
city.
cuánto? Mhm. Can anybody imagine a different solution with commas?
Guanajuato, which is a beautiful colonial city.
Yeah.
Guanajuato, comma,
Guanajuato, comma.
which is a beautiful colonial city.
Otros llamados en él. Entre las publicaciones que tuvo, las más destacadas fueron
City.
Comma is located in a central
What is missing?
Comma.
comma
Mhm.
is located in central Mexico.
Are you asking me?
No, I'm sorry, I can't listen very well.
Central Mexico. Mhm. Uh-huh. Let me know when I can erase number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
What are the common elements now?
Guanajuato,
Guanajuato.
beautiful Mexican city.
Mhm.
It's cultural festival.
It's cultural festival.
When we have a possessive, we need the complete package. Remember that. So, give me the non-defining relative clause version. Sorry, the defining, that is without comma.
Guanajuato is a beautiful city, Mexican city, whose cultural festival is famous worldwide.
Amos.
And
Is a beautiful Mexican city. famous worldwide. Okay. Can anybody give me the version with a non-defining relative clause?
Guanajuato, comma,
Pensaríamos Guanajuato, comma, residuo.
was cultural
Ok.
festival is
Entonces todavía está
famous
conectada
worldwide.
una is cultural festival. Famous worldwide,
comma,
comma,
is a beautiful Mexican city.
is a beautiful Is it clear to everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
May I erase number 4?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What are the common elements?
Guanajuato,
Guanajuato,
there,
yeah,
and beautiful Mexican city.
a beautiful Mexican city. So let's try to produce a sentence containing a non-defining relative clause.
Guanajuato is a beautiful Mexican city. Where the festival Cervantino is held. What? Maybe Guanajuato, comma.
So, yeah?
Okay.
Okay. Does everybody agree that I can replace this with this? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This is more common.
Can I finish?
Sorry.
When we visualize the preposition, what we can do is drop this and put the preposition at the end. Okay? So there is no relative pronoun or adverb visible here. And I put the preposition at the end. Mhm. So,
So,
no, I'm going to,
Guanajuato is a beautiful Mexican city where the festival Cervantino is held. We need in, after.
no.
No.
If you have where, you don't need anything.
Okay.
So you have two versions. Guanajuato is a beautiful Mexican city where the Cervantino Festival is held. Or you have another version, Guanajuato is a beautiful Mexican city, the Festival Cervantino
Is held in.
held in.
Okay. Thanks.
Mhm. No commas. Now, what is the version with commas, or what can we do? So to make it a little bit clearer.
So without commas, we have three versions.
No, of course not. We only have one. Well, depending if you want to use which, but if we want to use where, there is only one. Mhm. So, where is the same as in which. But in this case, which disappears and in moves here. So, give me a version with commas and using where.
Guanajuato, comma, where the festival Cervantino is held. Comma is a beautiful Mexican city.
Mhm. In this case, this reduction is not possible. When we have the commas.
So reductions are not allowed in not defining relative clauses.
These reductions, other reductions are possible, and we are going to study that later.
Okay.
This one, no, but others can. By the way, before I forget, Thursday next week, that is April the 22nd, we are going to have a midterm exam. Okay?
Can you repeat it?
Okay.
April the 27th. And I am going to include connectors, fragments and run-on sentences, asking questions, and relative clauses. Okay? So, may I erase number 5?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I have a question. Well,
Yes.
could
I should have erased number 4, not number 5. Okay.
okay, could another option be Guanajuato, which is a beautiful which is a beautiful city, comma,
And then,
held the festival Cervantino?
in the past,
Guanajuato. No, I got confused.
holds. But you have to use holds, not held.
Okay, Guanajuato, yeah,
So
holds
this
the
is in
person.
present,
Yeah.
this is in present but passive voice. And you want to use active voice.
Guanajuato holds the Festival Cervantino.
Mhm. Yeah. If you want to use which, yes.
I mean, we have to change where to which in this.
I cannot hear. I cannot understand what you're saying. Speak a little bit louder.
Okay. Well, in that sentence we use where the Festival Cervantino is held, but in the sentence that I said, I use which, so it is correct. Yes or no?
That is, I am understanding, but is anybody understanding what he's saying? Is it clear to everybody what he is proposing?
So, but not clearly.
Not very clearly. So he wants to use active voice. He wants to use which. He's not going to replace there. He's going to replace Mexican City or something like that. So Guanajuato is a beautiful Mexican city, but now, since we are using this, the city, we need to transform the second sentence into active voice, which holds or hosts the Festival Cervantino. I cannot use passive voice. This is passive voice in the original. But in this version, I cannot use passive voice. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, may I? Here I have number 5. Or not?
7.
There was already number 5, or this is number 5?
Number 6.
I erased, but I'm not sure this is the correct number. What number is this? 5?
It's number 6.
6.
6. Okay, 6. Thank you. So that's number 6. So let's see number 7. Oh, no. So what are the common elements now? This one is not so obvious.
Sorry, teacher, I have a question. I don't like what?
Parties.
Okay, thank you.
Me.
My shyness and parties.
No.
Any idea how we can combine these sentences?
It could be.
Yes. My shyness is the reason that I don't like parties. Oh, okay.
I have another.
My shyness is the reason
That?
Why?
Okay.
Why is more common? That
Okay.
in some grammar books it is acceptable, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's not very nice. Why?
I don't like part of that. Okay.
So here's the common element. This is the reason that all these is the explanation for you. So.
Okay.
Well, so let me turn on the lights. Well, ouch.
A question. Could it be I don't like Paris because of my shyness?
Sí, pero eso no es una cláusula relativa, ¿estamos de acuerdo?
Okay, yes.
Es una adverb clause.
Yeah.
The reason. Y aquí el título dice relative clauses, entonces yo pongo esa, no es un ejemplo de relative clause.
Okay.
So there exists in the real world, you can combine ideas in many different ways. Here I am. Well, we have already studied logical connectors. Here, this is the presentation of relative clause.
Okay, thank you.
So in your Google Classroom, if you go to your Google Classroom, oh my gosh, it's too bright. Under relative clauses, in the section called relative clauses, you should have a file that is called ASAR, punctuating relative clauses. So go to your classroom and let me know if you can find the file.
Sí.
Yes, here there is a
Yes,
one.
ASAR relative clauses, okay? Okay, so let me, everybody has it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let me show you what you're expected to do. So ASAR. So this is the file that you download. So the only challenge here is to add commas where necessary and change the adjective clause pronoun to that whenever it's possible. And we have the examples. Alan and Jackie, who did not come to class yesterday, explained their absence to the teacher. So we see that the commas have been added and who cannot be changed to that. In number 2, who did not come to class yesterday, explained their absence to the teacher. No commas. And in this case, who can be changed into that. Okay? So it shouldn't be so terribly difficult. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to give you 5 minutes to answer from 3 to 15. I'm going to recreate the groups. So I'm going to stop in here so that I can create the groups. Some students left. There were more students before. Well, so let me recreate this. So 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Hi, Hugo.
Hi. Do you want to share your screen or me?
Yeah, I share my screen.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, I start the to do the exercise.
Yeah, don't worry.
In third, I put only people that speak Russian should apply for the job, and we don't need a commas.
I agree.
And for Matthew, and I think that we need a commas who speak Russians applied for the job. And I don't know if we could change who by that. Maybe yes, no?
That is possible. That is no causa como problema. I think
Uh-huh.
correct.
Okay, 5. The race which we had for dinner last night was very good. Maybe with commas.
Yeah, we need a comma between which and was.
Okay.
I think it's possible to change which to what to that.
Which to that. Okay. Rice, which is grown in many countries, is a staple food throughout much of the world. Maybe in this part, no, forget it.
Yeah. I think that we need the commas between rice and which and countries and is. Yeah.
Commas.
In these places. Yeah. And I don't know.
Maybe we can change which by that, but in 5 maybe we don't need a commas, no? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure in 5 if we need a commas. 7. The newspaper article was about a man who died 2 years ago for a rare tropical disease. We don't need a comma.
I think too. We don't need a commas.
Okay. And we could change that.
Yeah.
Applied 2 years ago. Maybe in this part we need a comma. And not change that. I have um
That it's too difficult. Have the parameters that can define those. What is the changes?
Okay. Share my screen. Okay. Jessica, number 3, please read the sentence and tell me if you added commas or not, or if you changed who into that or something.
Okay. Only people who speak Russian should apply for the job. I think we don't need commas. And I think we can replace who with that.
So you can say that or who. Good. Number 4, Excel.
Okay. Matthew, comma, who speaks Russian, comma, applied for the job.
And obviously in this case,
We can change who for that.
we cannot.
We cannot, okay.
Okay, we can't. Yeah. Number 5, fair.
The rice, comma, which we had for dinner last night, comma, was very good.
Coma, o sea, está inconsciente.
Comma, comma.
Coma. Does everybody agree?
No.
Yes.
No.
What do you disagree with? With what?
With the comma.
We don't need the commas. Because this information, what was the name of the relative clauses when they don't have commas?
Defining.
Adjective clauses.
Well, all of them are relative clauses or adjective clauses. But when they don't have commas, they are defining. So this information is defining which rice is good. Not all the rice was good. Only the rice that we had for dinner last night.
Oh, yes.
Okay. This is an interesting example because this is a little bit different of the examples that I gave you, by the way. So, in this case, can we replace which for that or not?
Yes.
Yes.
And we can also replace it with 0 because the subject of the relative clause is this. So you can say simply, the rice we had for dinner last night was very good. It's also possible, okay? Yes. Okay. Are you there?
Yes.
Yes, it's okay.
Because telepathy is not my thing. So I don't know what you are doing or thinking. So number 3, Obed.
Sorry. Rice, which is grown in many countries, is a staple food throughout much of the world. I put commas between rice and which, and countries and is.
So I need to hear it. And not just that you pronounce the word comma, but I need to hear the intonation. Can you read your sentence again?
Yes. Rice, which is grown in many countries, is a staple food throughout much of the world. Throughout.
Esta es con la misma con la que dices think. Throughout.
Throughout much of the world.
Okay. Number 7, Victoria.
The newspaper article was about a man who died 2 years ago of a rare tropical disease. I think we don't need commas.
And if we don't need commas, what can we do?
Sorry, what was the question?
If you don't need commas to set off this relative clause, what else can you do according to the instructions of the
we can replace who with that. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that part.
Number 8, Ignacio.
Paul O'Grady, who died 2 years ago, was a kind and loving man.
Does everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Sire, number 9.
Sorry, yes. I have fond memories of my hometown, which is situated in a valley.
Valley.
In a valley, yeah. We don't.
Esta tengo que oírla más como F, valley.
Valley.
Porque si no oigo valley, así.
Okay.
No, valley.
Valley.
Okay. And
so we don't need comma. So
o sea, ¿tienes muchos pueblos donde naciste?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Solo que en el mundo cuántico tal vez y en una superposición de estados, pues tal vez.
Yes. So,
pero en este universo de acá, de la macro, pues no creo, ¿verdad? Entonces.
Yeah, we need a comma between hometown and which.
And which. Read again with the right intonation.
I have fond memories of my hometown, which is situated in a valley.
In a valley. Number 10, Mildred.
I live in a town which is situated in a valley.
Are you asking?
No, I live in a town which is situated in a valley, and we don't need commas, and we can change which for that.
We can use that. Number 11, Noemi. Noemi, are you there?
Let me have internet problems.
Oh, Lucero, then?
The Mississippi River, which flows south from Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico, is the major commercial river in the United States?
Acuérdense que esta S la tengo acá. United States.
Oh, yeah, United States.
Ajá, así, para que no me le metan United States. No. United States. Ajá. Okay, number 12. Abigail.
A river which is full is not safe for swimming.
Okay, polluted.
Polluted.
And
Sorry, a
river.
river which is polluted is not safe for swimming.
Uh-huh.
We don't need commas, commas. We can change it for that.
That. Number 13. Pauline.
Yes, Mr. Browns, whose son won the spelling contest, is very proud of his son's achievement. The man whose daughter won the science contest is also very pleased and proud.
Now?
I don't know. Sorry, I think we don't.
What am I supposed to do? Could everybody finish or not?
No, but I think that in the first sentence.
So let's stop it there. Let's leave it there. So you finish this for homework, and also for homework, you are going to do exercise 22. So you finish this, which apparently you didn't have time to do. Then in exercise 22, you do up to number 6. Because this one is discuss the difference. Ustedes no van a discutir consigo mismos, ¿no? No anda muy filosófico. Okay?
Okay.
Well, and in exercise 23, you are going to do from 1 to 8. 1 to 8. Hold it. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
So let's stop sharing, and that will be it for today. Okay? So remember, tomorrow, I'm very sure Thursday, we will be studying relative clauses. Then next week, Monday and Tuesday, we will reviewing material. I'm going to give you material to review over the weekend so that we can review on Monday and Tuesday next week, and the exam is going to be on Thursday. Okay? See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Teacher. See you.
See you, teacher.
Bye.
Take care.
See you.